Hey, what's up, Anthony? This is a quick demo video for you for your Veracity Labs and 7 Chambers Magic of Myth. I got this all installed with a Proffie for you. I also made you a custom recessed blade for this, so we'll light this up here in a second. You bought this secondhand, so it didn't come with a helper board. It's no big deal. But this will not be sliding off. Just leave this on here. It holds in the chassis piece that I designed to hold your 2 tactile switches and the Neopixel accents for your red and green arrow. All right, so your front switch right here will be your power. The back will be your auxiliary. And then you'll see these red and green arrows doing a little something. They do something different when the Saber's off as opposed to when the Saber's on. All right, you've got a Carl Chen V4 Neopixel connector in there, so if you can see that, it is specifically made for a recessed blade. This is a removable battery setup, so what you want to do is just unscrew the neck area here, or the grenade section rather. When we take this off, it comes right off. You've got a blade side PCB in there, right? So that stays in there. This is what your actual chassis looks like. So a removable battery setup. The negative side of your battery will go up inside of the Saber like that. And then I just did a little something to make it not look so plain. All right. And that's how we put a battery in. But before we do that, if you ever want to get to the board, you can do it 2 ways. If you wanted to take off just this piece, you could. So we'll take this off. When you do, be careful because there is a speaker pod in here. It's not glued to this. So take this off. Your speaker will come right out. This is a 28mm Smokers Out Post Elite speaker and its own pod. It just says Luke Skywalker here in Arabic around it. All right, so we'll put that off. The reason I did not glue this on to here is because you have a couple different pommel options, right? So this one has the hidden venting. You've got one in your box that has the venting where you can see it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. You get a lot of parts floating around. Here it is. You've got this one that you could put in if you like. Right, so I wanted you to be able to retain those options. So it does fit in here, but it's just not glued in. All right, so you can take that out to get to your board like that, or if you have trouble accessing the board from there, you can go ahead and you can unscrew this entire pommel piece. All right, and we'll do that real quick. Just a few threads, no biggie. But when you take this off, that'll expose your board a bit more so you have access to your SD card, your micro USB. You've got that stock speaker pogo pin setup that I like to use right there, but that's what that looks like. All right, the board is glued down to the chassis because you have access to everything from right here. But if you're not going to make any changes, then you don't even need to do that. There is the LS6 font on here for now. All right, and that's the only font. There is a copy of the config file that I used on your SD card, or if you'd like me to email that to you while this is mailing, I can definitely do that so you can get a start on setting up some fonts for it. All right, messing with a lot of threads in this demo. So lock this all the way down. I did not put your tri-ring on because it's something I just don't feel comfortable doing. I'm just always afraid I'm going to scratch the surface, and I don't like doing it. So it's in your box, all right? Very easy to scratch aluminum, and I don't want to be responsible for that. So you can put this piece on, lock it down, put this piece on, lock it down with a speaker in it, and now it's very solid. All right, we'll come over here and put our battery in. Clips right in.
I'll never turn to the dark side.
So as you can see, I've got your red and green LEDs doing a little something different when the Saber's off. They will time out though, so if we don't turn the Saber on just like that, they'll turn off so they don't kill your battery. All right, then we can just come over here and put the Saber on, or the grenade section on rather. It's a snug fit, but it's meant to be that way. It holds the battery down into the chassis and it just locks everything down. So you're good like that. Come over here and hit power. So I got your green one staying on with your red one pulsing. Your LEDs in here firing up. Good smooth swing. And then auxiliary back here. Very easy to press. Turn it off. All right, turn it back on. And then you also have twist off. All right, now you have several different emitter options as well. This one obviously is for the blade. So what you'll want to do, grab the base of the emitter because you don't want to unscrew that. I have this cranked hand tight as hard as I could, but there's always that possibility of loosening it, and I'll show you. There's a particular way to put your blade in. All right, but you want to grab that, and then we're just going to unscrew this upper ring. Also in your kit, you do not have the grub screws, or the grub screw rather, for this guy right here. That would be your blade retention. I typically tell people to replace the one that comes in the kit anyway. The one that comes in the kit is just a little bit long, and you know, a lot of people have trouble tightening that down onto the blade and still getting that ring to screw in. So you will need that, but this blade fits in there pretty snug, so I won't need it for the demo. All right, but that is your recessed blade right here. We're going to take this ring, slide it up your blade a little bit. You might find that it's going to be a little bit tight to slide this up. You can sand this blade if you like. That's not something that I did on this particular one. How I made this blade is 2 BTF strips. Then I put a piece of foam over it for diffusion. Then I put a piece of neoprene tube over it for an additional layer of diffusion. And then finally I put it in the polycarbonate tube. All right, so if you have some trouble putting that on, you could either sand it or just keep doing it over time. It will work its way on there. All right. Once you have that on your blade, though, you can put the blade in. When you put this blade in, it's tight. So what you want to do, if you're going to twist it to the right like you're tightening it. All right. So we're going to twist it to the right and lock it down in there, just like that. And then we're going to come over here and slide our ring back on. Just slide it down and screw it on, and it'll be good to go. When we take it out, if we have to twist it, we're also going to twist it to the right because there's so much pressure fit in there. You don't want to loosen this by twisting the blade to the left. You can actually loosen this entire assembly. So always twist to the right, putting it on, twist to the right, taking it off. All right, but once we got it in there, there's your blade. Try to turn it around. Auxiliary is tapping auxiliary is blaster bolts, and then holding it down and hitting the saber is blade lock up. And hopefully you can see that it's right here. And as we go like here, it's right here. And then it moves closer to the emitter when you have it straight up and down. See the difference in my hand? White and green. White and green. So it's right. The blade lockup's right here. To play your soundtrack, it's a long press on the power. To turn it off, it's another long press. And then, of course, this just has the one sound font. But if you had multiple, you would just tap auxiliary to go to the next.
Luke Skywalker.
Good flash on flash. Just like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and take it back apart. So again, we'll take this top ring off. Remember, when we're going to take the blade off, we're going to twist it, but we're also going to twist it to the right as we pull out of it, just like that. All right, and then we'll come over here, take this ring off the blade, put this blade over here to the side, and then we'll put the ring back on. Also, when you're tightening down this ring, make it snug, but there's no need to crank it down tough. It will stay in place, all right? And then when you're done, we'll just come over here and take our battery out. So it's very easy to do. Again, take the grenade section off. And then from the positive side of the battery over here by your 7-pin connector, Just pull it out with your fingers, just like that. But that is basically your Magic of Myth. Let me know if you have any questions. I will get this out in the mail to you first thing Monday morning, since it's Friday. It will be 2 boxes because I don't have a box that's the right shape to send the blade plus this, right? So I have to send this in 1 box with the saber, and I have a special box for the blade. All right, thanks, man.